Bisola got married when she was just 22 years old. Her husband was 33. At the time, their age difference felt like a canyon separating them. But she thought love and understanding could build a bridge across it. In the beginning, everything was perfect. The relationship felt like a fairy tale. No matter how heated their arguments were during the day, by night, everything seemed to melt away. They'd find themselves drawn back to each other, closer than before. It felt like nothing could shake them. They were unbreakable. But life isn't a fairy tale, is it? It's complicated, messy, and full of unexpected turns. When her family first suggested him as a match, she hesitated. The age difference gnawed at her, but they reassured her, he's mature. He'll take care of you. You'll grow to love him. She entered the marriage with a hope in her heart and a whisper of doubt lingering in the back of her mind. She told herself, you can make this work. For a while, Bisola did, but soon cracks began to form. Bisola was young, full of energy, and loved being around her friends. Laughter, joy, and freedom were parts of her nature. But her mother-in-law disapproved. You're married now, she said sternly. You need to focus on respecting your father-in-law and brother-in-law. Her words felt like chains trying to bind her. Bisola couldn't change who she was. And honestly, she didn't want to. She believed she had the right to be herself, no matter who disapproved. But her refusal to conform only deepened her mother-in-law's dislike of her. And truthfully, she didn't care. A year into the marriage, Bisola's husband had to travel abroad for work. When he told her, her heart sank. She couldn't bear the thought of being apart. I want to go with you, she said, hoping he'd see her longing, but he refused. It's only for 2 months, he argued. My parents and my unwell brother need you here. They fought. She felt hurt and unimportant. I married you, not your family, she told him, her voice shaking with frustration. Eventually, he relented. Fine, he said. Get your passport made. When her passport was ready, she thought it meant they were going together. But instead, his anger flared. You only ever do what you want, he said bitterly. She snapped back. Yes, I don't need anyone's permission to make my decisions. Things spiraled from there. His mother begged her to stay, promising it was just 2 months. She agreed, but only on her terms. She told them she'd stay with her parents during his absence. For once, she wanted to feel free, even if just for a little while. When her husband returned, she waited for him to come and bring her home. But he didn't. Over the phone, his voice was cold and distant. Marriage is about cooperation, he said, but you only think about yourself. This relationship cannot work anymore. Not long after, he sent their divorce papers. She was 23, divorced, and carrying the weight of judgment from those around her. Her family begged her to reconcile, but her self-respect wouldn't let her. She couldn't go back to a life where she felt unseen and unheard. By the time she turned 25, she decided to remarry. But every proposal that came her way felt like another blow. Older men, widowers, divorced men. She was being judged, labeled, and weighed down by the stigma of being a divorced woman. Now, at 30, she's still unmarried. Sometimes, late at night, she lies awake and reflects on her past. Questions echo in her mind, over and over again. Was insisting on going abroad with her husband a mistake? Could she have handled things differently? Did her pride blind her to the bigger picture? Could her marriage have survived if she had been more flexible? These questions haunt her, but they have also shaped her. They've taught her lessons she wishes she'd known back then. If her story resonates with you, If it helps you reflect on your own choices, then sharing this was worth it. And if her words hurt anyone, she's truly sorry. Her intention is only to share, to connect, and to remind you that every story holds value, even the painful ones.